gray, somewhat blustery fall day here in Bernathen, Pennsylvania, in the southeastern corner of our wonderful state. And regardless of when or where you're joining me from, so glad to have you here today. So it feels like fall, at least in this part of the country, is starting up. Last night, it was kind of funny. I had a odd fall ritual, which was actually making a cup of hot tea. I have not done that for a long time. Felt very fall-esque. So anyhow, hope your weather wherever you are is beautiful. And today what we're looking at is we're continuing on with John chapter 9. If you're joining us for the first time, what we do every day is we just go through a little bit of the Bible at a time, just a line or two. We talk about it, we do a little blessing, a little prayer, and then we have a little conversation on it at the end, which is always super fun. I want to page to blow away here in the wind. Then we have a little conversation about it at the end in the chat on our Facebook Live page, New Church Live's Facebook Live page. And today, what we're looking at is again this beautiful story of Jesus healing the blind man, and his disciples, who his followers, were kind of off with how they were handling all this, and they were asking questions about, well, who sinned, this man or his parents? And Jesus is like, that's not the equation, gentlemen. And what he does is he starts to offer a very different perspective on it all. And he uses this occasion to talk about light. And that's what we're going to talk about today, is this wonderful part where he talks about light and what our job is to do with the light. So let me go ahead and pick that on up here. And this is John 9. As long as it is day, Jesus said, we must do the work of him who sent me. Night is coming when no one can work. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world. Now there's a number of kind of beautiful parts there in terms of what Jesus is saying with light. One is, again, for this was geared towards a Jewish audience, and a Jewish audience would have known this. They would have known that light was the first thing created in the creation story and the first thing blessed in the creation story. So when Jesus uses words like, I am the light of the world, it clearly is this connotation of a new creation happening again, something new happening in our lives. And we believe that firmly in this particular denomination, that so much of Jesus and his message, it's about a sort of a second coming in here. Something in our heart really comes alive and expands and grows, and that is so much that light that we start to experience from God. And that light, it's so important, that light, like, we live in a culture, I think, that is obsessed by, like, look how much light I have, I am all enlightened. And that's just not Jesus. That's not the way Jesus uses light. It's not the metaphor that he goes by. It's a very Western metaphor. It's not Jesus's metaphor at all. And we'll talk about it. I've referenced this before. We're going to reference it again, I'm sure, many times over the course of John. But Jesus uses this idea of light. He says, it's passage we'll be looking at in the future, Jesus talks about, don't hide your light under a bushel. And most people just say, well, that means don't hide your light, let your light shine. And then they forget the second part of that. And I think this is what Jesus is really driving at. He says, don't hide your light under a bushel, lest people be unable to see. And I love that idea, right? That is the idea of Jesus's light in our lives. It's not like look how great I am. Spirituality is not a self-esteem project. Despite what some pastors might try to make of it, it really isn't. And it's not about negative self-esteem either. It's not about saying you're nothing. It's actually about asking very different questions and taking a very different perspective. Light being part of that. In the light you are given, and all of you have it, the light you are given is given you to pass on. It's given to you so that other people can better see. That's a much better use of the light. I mean, folks, I'm looking around back here, right? And look at all that the light enables us to do. It enables us to see those colors, and you can probably start to see some of the fall colors changing in those beautiful trees. allows us to see the green and the white and the silver of the fire escape, and to see all these different things. And that is indeed so incredibly beautiful. That's the gift. That's the gift of light. It's there so that we can see. Just that simple. So with that, dear friends, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead here and do our little meditation, our little prayer, our little blessing, and just be thinking about the light, and be thinking about how you might think about the light in new ways, and think about God kind of stirring a new light in your heart, and how that light for God or for us is really about passing it on. It's really about how do we use that to help other people see. So in that sense, let it be a week of letting your light shine. So with that, folks, I'm going to ring a bell here. We're just going to take a second just to still our minds. And for those of you joining us for the first time, we just take a breath. We listen to the bell and just listen until it stops ringing. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you and bring you peace and bring you home. Amen. All right, dear friends. So again, think about that light, and take the time now, if you would like, to leave a little comment on New Church Live's Facebook page, and I'll be pulling it up here. So if you go over to our Facebook page, you can just leave a little comment there. Even if you're watching later in the day, a lot of people do watch later in the day, and they will leave a comment, and I will assuredly get back to you at some point in time today. Let you know how, connect in with you, see how you're doing. Oh, we got a lot of comments today. All right, so here we go. Lynn gives a little heart signal. That's good. Jeff, good morning. All peace. That's good. Peace is the essence of heaven, which I love. Lynn, great to see you, my friend. And Lynn, I had a wedding just down the street from you at Normandy Farms, in the same place your wonderful daughter and son-in-law got married a few years back at Normandy Farms, which was ton of fun. A lot of good memories there. Martha, good morning to you, my friend, out there in the Midwest. Marcus, good morning, buddy. And again, Marcus deserves a big public shout out. He put together that wonderful video we used at the end of yesterday's service, which sure was fun. Sherry, great to see you this morning as well. I hope you're having a great day. Sherry Kimball Johnson writes, good morning from the Outer Banks. And I think the Outer Banks is the coolest little acronym. OBX is it's great. As is the that whole area. Martha, on a run in the dark this morning, I was noticing how much I anticipate and love the coming light of morning. And isn't it beautiful? Like, it's one of those beautiful times of day. And I grew up rural area. We had this old family farm we grew up on, and just being able to go out fishing in the morning, the stillness of the water, and just watching light come up, really something else. Gene, good morning. Let there be light in my life to share with others. That's beautiful. Jeff writes, thank you. Much appreciated. Well, thank you, Jeff, for tuning in. Linda is watching from sunny, not cold, blustery Philadelphia, but sunny Florida. That is great. Terry, great to have you joining us this morning. Yeah, Lynn, great. Marcus, thank you. And Lynn, I love seeing the picture of your mom in there. And yeah, the Outer Banks got a little shout out there. So thank you folks for joining us. God bless. Think about light in a new way, and hopefully it gets a little warmer today. All right, friends. God bless.